Hello there, Internet, and welcome to a slightly early look at Second Eve. Let's get the elephant in the room out in the open. No, out of the way. It's already out in the open because it's an elephant, and elephants are huge. That's the whole point of the adage. This is a great start to a video. Let's address the elephant in the room. I played the demo of this. It was very janky, but I was intrigued enough to keep an eye on it. And how do I say this? I don't like generative AI. I've expressed this in multiple videos at this point. I do not like when the work of human beings creatively is taken away by essentially a plagiarism machine. There's been a lot of talk surrounding this topic, and I am a creative person. You know, I recently finished putting together 68 hours worth of map for a video game, and whilst I think we are probably a very, very long way away from an AI or LLM being able to do that, artwork and music and voice acting are things that they are already capable of doing to varying degrees of success. To the extent that places like Pinterest, which is a place that I used to go to for reference and stuff for what little drawing I did do, is now a wasteland of AI generated images. There was a game, the demo for which I played fairly recently. Was it Mask of Soul? Something like that? Where the developers quite rightly disclosed on their Steam page that they used generative AI in the music. I was really disappointed in this because I would much rather you pay musicians to create music for you. Generating sound effects? Okay, yeah, fair enough, whatever. Generating music? No, not really a big fan of that. So whilst the game has released, I've not covered it because to the best of my understanding they have not yet, although they have responded to my critique of it and said yes, it's something we will look into. Whether or not that'll happen, I don't know. So that brings me to this game. Why am I talking about this now? Because this game uses AI voices. Now, I don't know how far they have gone with this, because things like text-to-speech have been around for a very long time. But equally, text-to-speech it's not really AI in the generative AI way that people are looking at it right now. It's not usually trying to sound like a particular person, or at least it wasn't. Obviously these days you can get text to speech that does sound like people. There was reasonably famously within the last 12 months or so a Warhammer 40k lore channel that had all its videos in the style of David Attenborough style documentaries, and they had to take down a load of videos and change them all because, you know, it was obviously not an appropriate use of the person's voice. So the developers of this title have said that there's only 2 of them, it's an incredibly small team, and all of their money has gone on graphics, gameplay, systems. They simply cannot afford voice acting. Now, don't get me wrong, voice acting is arguably one of the most expensive things in video games. So I get it. I get that they would use AI to do the voices because there is literally no way that they could afford voice acting. The question is, and I don't know because I haven't played any of it yet, is the voice acting obviously AI, and therefore does it take me out of the experience? Or should it simply have remained as text? I've just finished playing GRIME 2. GRIME 2's voice acting, quote unquote, is mostly gibberish. I shouldn't say this. I think it's mostly gibberish, and you just read the text. Obviously, that is not a game with realistic quote unquote humans. Quote unquote humans. Whereas this is. So, yeah. I'm going to try it so that you guys can make up your mind whether this is something that you want to support or not. I am not saying that we should lambast or that we should, have a go. Because literally, this is the first time I booted the game up. There might be barely any dialogue in the game. I don't know. But I'm equally aware that the usage of AI in any capacity is a big thing for a lot of people, especially when it takes away the potential of work for other human beings in this economy. Now, because this is a studio with no budget, they are not technically taking away work from other human beings because they wouldn't have been able to afford to pay other human beings anyway. Now, for some people out there, you might think, okay, I get it, I understand, that's fine. For some people might be, no, all AI bad. And some, a little bit more like myself, maybe trying to be a little bit more measured and understanding and compassionate, might be thinking, we'll see what it's like, but I'm not really a fan. So let's try it.
Life, as we know it, ended that fateful day.
This may have been in the demo.
The moon was hit by an asteroid and is now heading down to Earth on a slow but relentless full-impact collision orbit. It's the year 2125, and we only have a couple of years to save ourselves. In the face of extinction, and for the first time in history, humankind has found the motivation to work together. We started building 3 spaceships, our ARGOS, that will carry our only hope of survival. The ARGOS are set to reach the closest Earth-like planet, Proxima 22b, in the Alpha Centauri solar system. The ships are designed to carry as many humans as possible in the cryogenic state.
I remember this, yeah.
Still, the journey would be long and perilous. As the scientists found a safe way for our physical travel, and the risks were calculated and accepted to fine detail, the unseen enemy was lurking, as always, inside us. We soon found out that cryosleep did not come without severe side effects. A new branch of medicine was developed, mixing meditation techniques, religion, and science in order to understand and cure the negative effects of torpor. I am Sister Zola, and I have dedicated my life to serving God. Now, he has a new use for me, and I accept it. I am the Sister Superior of the Ark ARGOS, and 100,000 people depend on me to safely guide them back to life. 2 years into the journey, ARGOS is the first out of the 3 arcs to reach the required speed for engaging warp drive. Everyone braces for the crossing into the unknown void of hyperspace. The nuclear sparks from the 1,000 nukes are firing inside the sphere. The black hole begins to form, and space warps in front of the ship. The engines halt, the sphere shuts down, a huge jolt passes through the ship, and everything stands still, in darkness and silence.
Okay. So, I don't know whether that is going to be the quality of the entire vocal presence, I suppose, is the phrase to use throughout the game. There was a little bit of nuance to it. Don't get me wrong, I don't want this discussion to overshadow. You know, at the end of the day, the devs have said that they would never be able to afford voice acting, so they are not taking work away from human beings. They'd never be able to pay them. If it's just that, if it was just that introduction, I think I would kind of give them not the benefit of the doubt, because that implies something completely different, but it'd be like, okay, you know, it's a decent enough premise, it's a little bit flat, but it's not awful. It's something that you could have done 10-15 years ago with text-to-speech. If that was it, okay, move on. It depends, I think, on how much of that there is going to be. Right, our running animation is still very slow.
What the hell was that?
Okay, so we've got a little bit of we really don't have any sense of impact. And the running animation does not match the movement speed. Everything looks kind of blurry. Is this running at the right resolution? Oh, it's I do not know. Whoa. What the? Actually, I do know why it's doing this. I actually figured it out. Because I use 4K monitors and Windows isn't really designed for 4K, I have got... Where's the game? Oh, it's there. I've got my desktop resolution to scale to 150%. That isn't working at all. Right, 1 second. I'm just gonna need to fix this because this is clearly... So I spent all that time talking about AI related stuff, and now I actually have to go through the technical hurdles of getting the game to actually work properly. Why do I not have any? There we go. Compatibility. Change high DPI settings. Override high DPI scaling. Use application scaling. Let's see if this works now. Oh, it wants to generate shaders again. However, it is the right size window, so that's nice. as opposed to being very weird and bizarre. Hopefully this will make things a little bit crisper. Gamer Cloud. I do quite like that piece of artwork. It was very Mass Effect-y. Okay. That is slightly crisper, I think.
Free me.
But not by much.
Emergency protocol is now in effect. Please state your request.
I need full status report on the ship, now.
Initiating biometric verification. Please stand still for the scan.
I vaguely recall actually there being a reasonable chunk of voice acting in the demo. It's been a long time since I played it.
Access denied.
I am Zola, the Sister Superior of ARGOS Colony. My clearance level is second only to the captain's. Authorization code 737320. Run identification again.
Access denied. Unknown anomaly detected in your genetic markers. To overwrite this protocol, I need a full bioscan analysis report. Access medical bay terminal and return with clearance.
I need to hurry. Every second counts.
Okay. So, let's tweak some settings because... Right, that's working fine. I find it interesting that there's master music and voices, but no sound effects. Slider? Kind of weird.
Free me.
Ah, yeah. Okay. I don't remember it looking identical, looking like this previously. Maybe it did. Don't know. Maybe they've worked on it. Recharge your med cells by collecting containers. Use them by pressing down.
Save me.
Okay, we have to do that. There's something very stiff. I assume that was doing it correctly. Yellow text, yellow glow around the enemy.
Sister. Free me.
Do we have a stamina bar? We don't, do we?
Free me.
Jump down. Sure. Whee! Beware of enemies' powerful attacks. You cannot parry them.
Fister.
Yeah, unfortunately there is a real sense or real lack of juice. Just doesn't feel like we're making any contact with the
I have
enemies.
created this interface to help you understand how this mutation has impacted you. I will help you research new skills and how to use the energy your exoskeleton accumulates from the environment. When you are ready, interact again.
Understood. Let's hope this mutation is more blessing than curse.
Collect warp ash from enemies to research and upgrade them. Okay, so right trigger. We still need to get clearance. Or did that give us clearance?
Ah!
That was a very generous parry timing. Might use the elevator. Cooldown on the dash, as indicated in the bottom left-hand corner. Smash! Ah! Oops.
Save me.
Wibble! Oop!
That energy surge. I have to move with it, not against it.
Fister. Free me.
I have your scan results. The mutation seems to have impacted your neural implants and unlocked military-grade combat modules.
Why do we have those?
Yeah, they proved to be quite useful. How far are we from Proxima?
I am in complete blackout. The positioning sensors are not functioning, and I am unable to process any information regarding our location.
I expected the navigation sensors to be off balance in hyperspace, but a blackout is the worst-case scenario. Give me a status report on the ship.
The ship is damaged but integral. Compiling a full status report here.
Give me details on life support. I see the number of cryosleepers is decreasing as we speak. What is happening?
And what's with all the people things that are all over the place?
I can't access the cryosleeper module. A
Comma.
high-ranking officer has sealed the area in safe mode.
Ah, safe mode. Always an issue.
I need to reach it as soon as possible. Show me the quickest path.
I have marked on the map the fastest way to reach it. Go through the transit base.
Full stop. Go through the Clearance get. Yeah, there's something very glidey. Can't block that attack.
Bless me. No, not like this.
Ooh dear. Oh, we're all the way back here.
You.
In terms of what they're going for with the visual design and the plotting so far, I like it. From a technical standpoint,
Fister. Free me.
it's clearly reasonably ambitious. You know, for two people. Obviously, it's quite boxy. So far. In this very opening section.
That energy surge. I have to move with it, not against it.
Fister. Free me.
Okay, let's use the save game thing this time. It is unfortunate that I am playing this straight after playing 53 plus hours
Yeah.
of GRIME 2. You know, a game that was in development for a fair chunk of time with a very small team. Yeah, there's only four or five people on Team Malignant at Cloverbyte. But obviously a much more experienced team in terms of the fact that they have already released one critically acclaimed game. But there are just a number of things here that feel very rough. I'm fairly certain I must have made mention of this running. It seems like the animation is kind of detached from our movement speed. Which is often the thing in 3D games, actually. You know, the thing that controls us is probably a capsule collider or something like that, and the animations are put on top of it. But there's just no feeling of impact.
Cult symbols. The first time I've seen this outside of a history book.
Fister. Free me.
So it is possible to get yourself sandwiched between enemies, and because your dodge is on a cooldown, But hey, occult symbols.
Bless me.
Free me. Free me.
Free me. Okay, that heals us. I assume that counts as a save point as well. Counterattack. Yes, I will research that. What else do we have? Dash. Increases your dash cooldown. Meh. Parry. Parrying an attack stuns the targets. Parrying an attack reduces all active cooldowns. Killing blows that can be parried or automatically parried. So we have to find those. In fact, do we have to find all of these? Yeah.
I can't access this door's controls, Zola. The critical failure in the ship's systems is preventing me from overriding the local security. This door was sealed by the...
Of course I do. Just what I needed. A locked door in this nightmare. Where is he? Can you locate him?
Before I lost the camera feeds, I saw the quartermaster heading towards his room. You might find him there, or at least the access card. I will open the private quarters doors now.
Whoop. Whoa, that was weirdly loud. Just some XP. I'm assuming that symbol in the bottom right is saving. Not in here. Oh. I'm assuming that was the counterattack. Again, doesn't really have any feeling of weight to it. Item box? No. Okay. Guide me. Huh. So you have to be quite specific on the timing to get the counterattack, even though it stuns the enemy on a not massively tight timing? I don't know. Choose a travel destination. I can't. But hey, fast travel. Hello? Blessed be, sister. We barely managed to escape from the military ring. All the combat drones went rogue and started attacking everything. It was pure madness. Madness seems to be the theme of the day. I'll open the doors for the medical bay for you. Patch up and meet me after. We will clear the way for you. Let's pray we're not too late. Let's move out. Warm. Like that. Don't know what that thing stalking in the background is, but I'm going to run past it. Yes, the fact that enemies can use unblockable attacks faster than you can dodge is an interesting choice. Ow. Improved endurance. And a security access card. That thing in the background going to come into the foreground now. Oh, but you are. Wibble. It's really unclear what's happening there. I don't think I'd even realised we had a proper jump. Well, proper might be a strong word. I can very much see what they are going for with the combat here. I can see what they are going for. They're not there. Doctor, thank God. What's happening inside the cryo bay? The captain. He's locked himself inside. Overridden all safety protocols. He's forcing an awakening. The rate of survival is so low that he's practically killing everyone. Something has happened to us, those who were awake during the jump. I've encountered the mutated ones. Was the captain altered like that? Was he afflicted? He was not like the fell ones I've encountered. The captain seems to have just gone mad, sister, raving about a divine purpose, a cleansing. Believes the hyperspace jump was a test from God. We have failed. What's happening to the sleepers? Is it much worse than what we've seen so far? I don't know, sister. It's different. I've seen some of the awakened ones. They're changed. Changed how? Look at their vitals. Their bodies are warping, mutating. Some have extra limbs, growths. Others are withering away in agony. It's horrifying. It's as if the hyperspace is rewriting their DNA. The most disturbing thing is, I'm not sure if they're still human anymore. God protect us. We're facing something far worse than we imagined. We cannot abandon them. They are still God's creatures, no matter how twisted. But we must try and save them. Acquire warp push. Oop. Select the warp push exoskeleton upgrade. Channel energy to thrust forward, pushing targets back. And we can reduce the cooldown and increase the range. We've also got improved endurance, maximum health, research. Okay. I'm assuming we can't get out here. I'm hoping there's not going to be much in the way of platforming with a jump like this. Oh, we can get through here. Secure the area, the tactical training zone. Ooh. Oh. I've got force lightning. Uh-oh. There's nothing I can do about it because of how the... because we can't because there is cooldown on the dash, it's... I just don't think that's a very good design decision, frankly. Well, I mean, I've got no health left, so this is going to be interesting. That's going to kill me. Not like this. Well. I think I'm going to leave that there. I continue. I'm reasonably certain I probably said this previously. I can see what they are going for, but it doesn't feel good. I'm not going to say it feels horrendous, because it doesn't. I think the issue is that it doesn't feel of anything. There's no feeling of feedback or impact. So, whilst I quite like the premise and the setup and even the systems, I don't like the fact that the dash is on a cooldown. I think if you are going to do that, then having multiple enemies that can surround you and you can't walk through them because they have collision, I don't think that's a very good piece of design, frankly. I turned the voices off because they weren't great. I'm not saying that my reading out of the dialogue was any better than the text-to-speech or what have you, but I would rather read dialogue than listen to it done badly. And it wasn't great. You know, there was some small, at moments, attempts at nuance in the dialogue, but mostly it's just been flat, as you would expect, because it's not spoken by a human being. You know, there's no sense of urgency or panic or what have you. And that's the problem with using this kind of thing. You know, I get why you want it to be voice acted, but I would rather you write the dialogue really well, differentiate the characters and how they speak really well, i.e. you characterize them well, and just make me read them. Which is why I turned the dialogue off, because I found it distracting. I didn't find that it complemented the experience, and I hope I made it clear in the introduction that I was very willing to give the game a chance in terms of its use of AI. You know, I am, to an extent, I am an automatic AI hater. To an extent. As I said, anytime it's used by a big studio who could clearly afford artists or voice actors or musicians or what have you, I don't feel that there's an excuse for the use of AI in their games. But when it's a two-man indie studio, I'm a little bit more open to the use of it in limited circumstances. But it has to be used well, and it's the lack of impact, the iffy running animation, the questionable design decision about the dash. Am I to assume that there is a cooldown reduction thing for the dash? Yeah, see, we can get 2 charges for it. But just the way the enemies are already surrounding you and you can't get past them because the dash is the only thing that can move you through them. At least I think that's right. That's how it felt. Also, the game's really quiet at times. And then really kind of significantly chunky in others. Is there an enemy knocking around? I just want to test. Because I've said, oh, you can't move through enemies. Oh. But yeah, I just want to imagine... I want to check that I wasn't imagining that. Yeah, the speed at which we are moving is not congruent with the running animation speed. This is clearly one of my pet peeves. I talk about it in all of my videos. Yeah, so you definitely cannot. That's all I wanted to check. Anyway. I think a lot of work would need to be done to turn this into the kind of experience I would expect for it to be. I think the primary focus for improvement should be game feel. The feeling, it's clearly a combat focused game, so it needs work on that feeling of impact. Both from our attacks versus the... well, especially our attacks versus the enemy. But vice versa as well. It just doesn't feel like there's any real contact there. Even if something as simple as some gamepad rumble would go some way. But there's nothing. The actual systems themselves seem fine. You know, the map is, you know, it's perfectly reasonable for what it's got. It's like ring 1 is the command deck. There were many rings in the fast travel thing that we saw. So if they're all going to be like areas kind of the same size and or shape as this, that could be cool. And it's at least reasonably easy to tell how the areas are connected up. But if this is going to be a combat focused game, there is an issue because the combat doesn't feel good. You know, above and beyond the discussions of the ethical applications of AI and so on and so forth, the combat doesn't feel like I'm hitting things. The running, so on and so forth, I've already mentioned. That's what I'd focus on for improvement, because I like the setup, I like the premise, I'd like to experience more of the story. Frankly, you know, I'd like to know what's going on. But in order to do that, I need to actually enjoy playing the game. And as it stands, I cannot foresee enjoying this combat as it is currently presented. So, yeah, some people might think, well, you haven't given it much of a chance. You've only played for like 40 minutes or 45 minutes because you spent the 10 minutes at the start of the video rambling about AI. It's like, yes, I am aware of this. And I hope I have been fair and measured. As I've gone on. But a game is a hobby, a medium for enjoyment. And if I'm not going to enjoy the combat based on what has been presented to me, I'm not going to get to experience all the other things. So, yeah. Sorry, that's not like a super positive thing, but yeah, it needs work. It needs work. What are the extras? Intro movie. Credits. There you go. That's it. That's what this was made by. So you can see, you know, very, very small two-man core team. And then a musician, some concept art, some additional art, and story work. Second Eve. Very, very, very early first look. Let me know if you pick it up for yourself. I don't think there's any information yet as to price or anything like that. 14th of April. Oh, it is coming out in early access. Oh, it's an early access launch. I don't think I realised that. Oh, well, that does give it time then to collect the feedback that I know it is going to need. They're a small, self-funded indie studio. Early access for 10 to 12 months. Early access will have the first 3 chapters of the game. Yeah, there's no information as to what the price is going to be just yet. So those are my first impressions of the... does it say... Oh, it does say early access version 1.0 in the corner. My brain had seen that and thought, oh, it's early access for like preview builds. It's like, no, Dembridge, I'm slowly losing my mind. So yeah, an early look at the early access build. I think I'm embargoed until the early access release date anyway. That makes me feel a little bit better. I think if this was going to launch right now as a fully finished product, it's going to attract a very specific audience in terms of its kind of Adeptus Sororitas, Sisters of Battle, Warrior Nun style thing going on. But that will only get you so far. You have to have the gameplay and mechanics and feel to back it up. And that's what early access is for. That's for where they're going to collect the feedback and improve on things. It sounds like they've kind of got the core gameplay loop down according to the early access notes. They might need to revisit that based on feedback. Or it could just be me. It could simply just be me that doesn't think that this feels great. I'm not going to speak for anybody else. Anyway, I am rambling. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you very much for watching, folks. Hopefully I've given that a fair shake. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. And have a great day. Cheerio. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.